Hello, guys. My name is Moroundupe.
And I'm Oluwaferanmi. Welcome
Welcome
back
back
to
to our
our
YouTube
YouTube channel.
channel.
So today we'll be talking about some interesting stories. One of which we got from Reddit Nigeria. It says changing last name is a deal breaker. Hi all, I am an African American and my partner is British Nigerian. I was born in London. I've been talking about last names and children names with my partner. He wants me to change my last name to his and name our future children Nigerian first names. I'm fine with naming our children Nigerian names,
Mhm.
and there we take his last name. But feel strongly that I don't want to change my last name. He has a very dominant personality, and is definitely more of the leader
In
in
the
the relationship, which is partially why it's important for me to hold on to my last name. But I also just genuinely love my name and never wanted to change it. He says it's a deal breaker and he's not willing to compromise, even though we have an otherwise mostly amazing relationship. I think I'm willing to separate over this issue, because it's important I preserve my identity as well, and I don't think it's fair to play second fiddle. Am I being culturally insensitive by not changing my last name? Should I look into this differently?
maybe it's yes or no. She doesn't like. What's her reason for not wanting to change and
It's
last name?
just there are things you've just like it must happen. Like you grew up with that mentality, like okay, this is how I want my life to be, this is how I want this to be, this and that. Do
Yeah.
you understand? Like
Mhm.
it's like you don't want to compromise over it. For example, you don't want to change your last name.
Okay. So we are going to validate how she feels. So we need to validate how the man also feels.
According to this post, yeah, it says the man has a domineering spirit. Like domineering is a dominant kind of figure.
I think the issue here is the way if she feels about that man. Because so if the man is not have a dominating spirit,
Hmm.
will she have
Compromise.
compromised?
Probably. I don't know. She's just trying to keep her identity. Like, come on now. This, I think there's this on Twitter about this something like this where someone was
Okay,
like,
let me see. Let me see that proper.
Otedola story, like Mr. Easy. Mr. Easy go change his name from like is Mr. Easy going to tell Otedola's daughter to change her name from Otedola to mean something. There's this gist on Twitter. To me, I feel like why not keep your last name? Like if he's not bringing money for you and me, like
I think it's not supposed to be a big deal.
honestly,
That's
it's
what I'm saying. It's not
not.
supposed to be a big deal.
It's not a big
But the
deal.
challenge here is the fact that the lady is having second thoughts about that man. And the second thought is about the man
Is the
being
actually
dominating.
it's stated here that the man is saying it's a deal breaker for him. She said she doesn't even mind. Like my children should bear their father's last name, which is of course makes sense. She's willing to like compromise because she's always had this idea like okay, I want my children to have this posh English
English name.
names, da da da. But okay, now that their first name is going to be Yoruba, their last name too is going to be their father's last name. But our own name, Gongo, she doesn't want to change. Honest to be sincere, Dupe, the process of changing name last song
Exactly.
it will make you
It's
even
really, really
rethink
hard.
the
It's
whole
really, really hard. The
thing.
process is a lot.
It's a lot, like a lot. You know, all the no, 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 no. In my opinion, no, if it's a deal breaker for the man, I feel like the man does not know what he's
And
looking
then
for or
I think she
something.
should just let go. Because
Just like that.
you can't say because you're not going to change your last name is a deal breaker. So are you saying that that's how much I want?
It's the man that said it's a deal
Well, that's
breaker
what
for
I'm
him.
saying. That's how much I want. So if I'm not going to change my last name, you don't love me enough to compromise.
Do you know? Ever since I've been a young girl, yeah,
Doesn't make
I've
sense.
always imagined, thought about my husband's last name to start with an A, because I just like the idea that someone's last name starts with A.
Or maybe because you'll be forced to be called.
And something like that, like in a setting like Ade, this and that, Abayomi, that kind of name.
Mm.
Like it's always interesting and all. And to God be the glory, I married
Eh.
A. However, I'm yet to change my name to my last name, to my husband's last name, because when I saw the whole process, I was like, who's going to go through all this thing? I beg. And to cut the long story short, my passport is going to expire in the next 10 years.
Okay, so now let us apply this situation to our personal life.
Life. Uh-huh.
So let's assume that when we were dating
Partner.
our partner, maybe one day we just sat down and talked about what we want in our marriage. Maybe how many children you want.
Mm-hmm.
We love each other, and we've decided that we're going to get married.
Of course.
Then and I tell him that Adam, I think I want to hold on to my last name.
Mm-hmm.
And then my
Okay.
boyfriend now says,
No, you know,
if you can't change your name,
be going, no,
going.
Relationship over.
How will you feel?
Of course, I'll feel bad.
Exactly. That means the man does not even love you enough.
Because it
doesn't make any sense.
For the fact that your children will be carrying your last name, like
you're even saying deal breaker.
Like personally,
it's not like I say you should my children should bear my surname. I just want to hold on to my name.
Yeah.
So what's that the big deal?
My middle name is Aisha, and to me that name means a lot to me because that's the name my dad calls like when he's happy and all, like, oh, Aisha, and I should not marry someone and say because he's from a Christian background, kiniko, you have to denounce that Aisha. I feel really that relationship because that name is so dear to me.
Exactly.
It's like
my name.
It's just like I'm seeing my. I don't know how to put it. I see anytime I know I answer that name, forgetting the fact that my last name is Ebitomi.
Exactly.
I still cherish Aisha compared to Ebitomi. Like Aisha carries more weight to me than Ebitomi. But at the same time, someone now says, okay, this our last name carries more weight than whatever, and you now say, you have to renounce that name once you get married. To me, I feel like you don't respect me or love me enough. That's like it's just a name. Come on.
Exactly.
It carries weight to our.
But if we are going to consider our side, we need to consider the man's side also.
What's the man's side?
We don't want to.
I'm giving you children.
Want to see.
And your children is going to get your last name.
Come from that.
Your children, you don't worry. I don't mind. Thing is, I can. Okay. I'm Ebitomi. Alias. But do you know there's this show? Have you seen Modern Family?
No.
There's this Pritchett family and as it Tucker. So one thing happened and they adopted a child called Lily, and so Lily was now bearing Lily Pritchett. So the partner was now like, why is this child not carrying my last name too? Because they are two dads.
Okay.
And the one the other one was like, I'm also raising this child. Why is this child not answering having my?
So what is
they had to hyphenate it like, okay, Pritchett Lily Pritchett hyphen Tucker.
Okay, that makes sense. You've solved the problem. They can do that. So the man should.
What does it see? Have you filled any form before? And do you know this place they used to give for last name?
Shebi is just for me. It's for me. It's not for my children. So maybe we should. I can add. You get what I'm saying? There's a comment here which it says, "It's not culturally insensitive for you to want to keep your name. Every individual has the right to make choices that align with their sense of self, just like we said. So if he's unwilling to compromise, and this is a deal breaker for him, it would be an indication of deeper differences in how you both view your roles in your relationship. So your feelings and identity are equally valid. And it's okay to stand firm on what's important to you.
Thank you.
If it's important to you,
period.
You stand on it.
Stand firm. Stand on business.
Exactly.
As it should be.
Exactly.
Honestly, I think that comment I said it all because it had about 227 upvotes, which is like a lot. So the OP made an edit to the post and said, wow, thank you all for the responses. I especially appreciate those of you who were kind and wished us well. Turns out, after much more conversation, it wasn't actually a deal breaker, and we agreed to legally hyphenate my last name. Oh,
we said it.
Although he doesn't love this idea, but I stood firm.
Exactly.
Continue to use my maiden name professionally and socially go by Mrs. his name, of which I do. Like,
exactly.
When I do even delivery, I use my husband's last name and my name, like, which makes sense. The whole idea of changing your name legally is just so
It's a lot
long,
now.
and
I'm your wife. I am your wife. Nothing will change
it
that.
takes a lot of, like, you must really love your husband.
Or maybe you are considering that if you divorce, maybe you have to change the
Name
process
back
of.
and God forbid.
No, that might be the reason. Oh. You
he
can't
also
say.
he also said that since kids will be raised in the US, they will effectively end up being American anyway. So this is one of the few ways he can preserve his culture. Now, look at it from his own point of view. He wanted his children to have that Yoruba name and his own last name, which
Yes.
makes sense to preserve his own culture. Fine, no problem. You see how he wants to infuse his own culture into his children.
Yeah.
The same way my dad was trying to infuse himself into my like
Yes, you're
that
yes. To
that
your
old kidney. They will effectively end up being American anyways. Blah blah blah. So we will have Nigerian first names and the names I pre-selected as middle names, and he said I can call them whatever I prefer. Well, which is no problem, anyways.
but I'll call them by their Nigerian name.
Anyways, so honestly, oh bless them.
Yeah, wish you
Wish you all the
all
very
the
best,
best.
OP.
And I'm glad that at least they're able
they
to
just
come to a conclusion.
yeah, yeah,
And
they
I think we said
compromised.
it now. We said it before that they should like
Hyphenates,
get
yeah.
both names. So
It's just a long
don't let
process
us
of
make
doing.
big day out of
Oh, yeah,
something that is not really
oh, yeah.
big. So we'll move on to the next story. So the title is My Nigerian Hex Got Angry with Me Over a Word. Nigerian Hex. Okay. I think hello
Nigerian.
foreigner, yeah. Does the word nervous possibly have some type of negative connotation in Nigeria or maybe in Yoruba culture?
Why is
Or
he always Yoruba?
Yoruba demon.
Why is he always Yoruba?
Or someone saying that they are nervous. Okay. I'm not getting that part right. Sorry, guys. So she's trying to ask us if nervous is
A bad
a
word,
bad word in our
like a cuss
culture.
word.
Yes. So I was just talking with my son's Nigerian father on the phone an hour ago. Our son, 5 years, was there with us. We were talking about his day in kindergarten. So in our talk, the boy mentioned being nervous over something. His father immediately asked him if he had heard correctly that the word he used as had really been nervous. Then he completely blew up on me in anger over that. I think the man thinks the woman is the one
Teaching
teaching
the girl, the boy, bad word.
those words. So why does my son know a word like that? Why are you putting words like that in his mouth?
Okpele.
He doesn't he doesn't need to know what that is at his age. He shouldn't know any words like that. I was completely taken aback. I really still don't realize what happened. I was totally surprised.
Nigga, I'm
So I
surprised.
tried asking many questions many times, but didn't get an explanation beyond yelling. You shouldn't know those words like that. You know our Nigerian people now.
Mm.
I think it is good that a child that age can vocalize how he's feeling in different situations. What do you think?
Of course.
So, but clearly, we don't share this opinion. I definitely also wasn't putting any words in my son's mouth. He just said what he felt. Why is this a big deal? I kept my voice calm and respectfully the whole time, but this man kept saying I was crazy, stupid, mentally not balanced, really insulting stuff.
I
Well,
beg.
that's obviously wrong. Then, when I still tried asking him why he's angry and what is wrong, he just offed and said he's not angry, but that I should look for help.
In
Okay.
quotes.
Yes, in quotes. Look for help. He has a history of being like this and losing his temper over things I don't understand, and I'm not offered an explanation for that. But this one takes the cake with how stupid it is to me.
He reminds us of the domineering,
Yes, exactly.
the dominant kind
I think
of.
that's the reason why they are even ex now.
Probably he's
It's
been
part of
behaving
the reason.
like
I'm not
this
trying to be judgmental
justify
or to again, but I
this
think this
thing.
is part of the reason.
Honestly, if a man is behaving like this, like, it's just too
No, that's too
somehow.
bad. I still want to be fair, and I feel like maybe he understands this word somehow differently. He said he never uses this word himself, so maybe I can also at least avoid it when we are interacting. Maybe it's cultural,
It's not cultural.
or is he just being super weird?
Yeah.
I think so. Could you please be kind and help me by pointing out if there is something that I should know, and if I should avoid this word? Because the conversation was going just fine, and then it just went all nuts, and I don't want that to happen every time we have to talk. Our son already got scared. Thank you already.
In conclusion, he has anger issues. He should go
He
and
does.
sort himself out.
So he's the one that needs help.
This is not even open for
And the
debate
fact
or
that he
anything.
did that in front of a child is totally wrong.
He's just crazy. Like, is he jealous of a child knowing how to express himself? You know, when we're growing up, like, probably there's a way we're being brought up that we're not allowed to express ourselves like that.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe the upbringing.
A 5-year-old child is still learning 3-letter words.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not trying to justify what he did, but maybe he's just
he's trying to project his
own upbringing
on
yes, which is totally different. Now,
I from what I
age.
can read, yeah, I think the child is in a Western country, so
exactly. So
he's
what do you expect?
to a lot of things. Even Miss Rachel, that song,
a lot.
Do you know how many
English
vocabularies? Dora the Explorer alone. I think the man has anger issues, and probably he had a bad day, and then he's receiving this phone call, and then because
I think it's a build up of emotions. So you're just trying to find faults in something that there's no fault. So I think it's more of
it's the guy's thing, and it's his problem. He needs to go sort himself out. He needs to see someone. He needs
so it's not cultural.
A shrink or something. It's not cultural at all.
In knowing how to speak good English.
There's no crime in expressing yourself.
Expressing yourself in words. There's no crime in doing that.
One of the top comments says, I know adults like this, and they would blow up like this when I express any negative emotions as a child. It's a toxic positivity mindset. Only say good things regardless of the situation, because words have power or something. All right.
Okay. This I know the way this person maybe like believe. Like if you say bad things,
nervous is not a bad word. Like, I'm nervous, like I'm worried, I'm scared. It's not negative in my opinion.
And it's good for the child to express themselves like that, because you as a parent you're able to know what they are going through, how they are feeling about things. You to know when something is wrong with them.
Exactly. And also, if probably the child is using it the wrong way, like, oh, but this is in this situation you don't use words like this. Use something else. But you blowing up and say, oh, nervous is a wrong word, is a cause.
Doesn't make sense.
I know you have to be positive all the time, but if a child is sad, it's sad. If a child is nervous, it's nervous. If a child is not happy, it's not happy. So there's like, okay, you're nervous. What can we do to help you?
Or what happened in school? Maybe you want to even hear what happened.
Exactly.
From that word alone, you'll be able to ask them questions. What happened?
What made you nervous?
In kindergarten today, maybe you had a fight with a friend of yours, or what exactly happened. It's a way of getting to know what happened.
Exactly. I just like the man has anger issues and needs to go sort himself out.
He needs to get help.
He needs to get help. When was this posted? 2 months ago. There's no updates here. Someone else said sounds like he has mental issues.
This person said I was gonna comment. His head is not correct. Only, but I don't think that would be helpful. I don't know.
Thanks for putting it more
succinctly. Okay, when you want to.
Someone said your ex just has anger issues. Sorry, you have to deal with this. It's probably something that he wants your son to be a real man and not a show of emotion.
A real man. That's causing a lot of trouble in this generation. A real man.
Come on, stop it.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, I think that's. What do you guys think? Like I said, I think the man has anger issues, has a problem. Kindly comment down below what you think.
Please, guys. So if you have any advice for this man, for this lady rather, and I don't think you have any advice.
Because in my opinion, I think it's straightforward. He needs his head is all correct. In conclusion, so let him go sort himself out. But as regards our first story, if you've got any comments, any ideas or
opinion about it, maybe you've been in that situation before, or maybe if you are married at the moment, did you change your name? You can just comment on how you feel about the situation, this whole situation, please, guys.
And we will be in the comments to
reply,
engage with you guys. Thank you very much for today.
Mhm.
Don't forget to
Like, subscribe, and share with your friends, with
mhm,
your family,
mhm,
with your enemy,
uh-huh,
everybody around you.
with your colleagues,
Exactly. At
anyone.
work, please. In church, in
Please.
that workplace, everywhere. Just share, please, guys.
Thank you very much.
So I will promise to bringing you more exciting
Juicy
mhm,
stories.
stories.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.